Hi, and welcome back to Salesforce's Release Readiness Live for Spring 17. Thanks for joining us, whether this is your first time with us, you've been an old veteran for a while, or anything in between. I'm Mike Torres, and it's great to be here for this afternoon as we take a look at some of the best new features that our Community Cloud has to offer. Now, if this is your first time joining us for Release Readiness Live, thanks for tuning in. So you may have already read the release notes for Spring 17, but the purpose of these sessions is to take those notes and bring them to life by giving you conversations with and demonstrations by our product team. And since we're live here in Salesforce Studios, you're going to be able to ask your questions live and have them answered on the air. Now, we're going to get to meet our team in just a second, but before we find out who we're going to be asking questions of, let's find out how we're going to engage with them. So to explain that and more, I'm going to pass things over to the community moderator for Release Readiness, Elena Miller.
Thank you, Mike. Great to be back. Welcome everybody who's rejoining or joining for the first time today. We are going to be monitoring for your questions, as Mike said. So please feel free to post those shout outs, reactions, and Twitter. We'd really love for you to post your questions in the success community, in the release readiness and feature adoption group. And there should be a link on the slide. If not, you can go to success.salesforce.com. And please use the hashtag Salesforce Live. That's all lowercase, Salesforce Live, whether you're posting on Twitter or in the community. So let's see what we've got for Community Cloud today. I heard it's a lot. So
we do have a lot, so remember, hashtag Salesforce Live and no question left behind for us on these broadcasts. Now, before we get into the meat of the presentations, there are just a few final logistical bits of information that we do need to cover. So as we said a couple times, everything that we're going to be talking about during this session is specific to our Community Cloud product. If you're looking for information on any of our Service Cloud offerings, Sales Cloud, maybe App Cloud, or any of our release readiness content, you can find everything at salesforce.com/release readiness. Great. So as a final bit before we get into the presentations, we are going to be looking at some of our roadmap items today. So to properly set our expectations there, let's review Salesforce's forward-looking statement slide. Now, if anybody's unfamiliar with this slide, it urges Salesforce customers to remember that Salesforce is a publicly traded company and that any and all purchasing decisions should be made entirely on currently available functionality only. Simple as that. Now, without any further delay for myself, I'd like to hand things over to David so we can meet the teams and get into the presentations.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, I'm Dave Mendelson. I'm a product manager in the Community Cloud, as you obviously would know. And I focus mainly on chatter.
Thanks, David. It's good to be back. I'm a product manager in the Community Cloud as well, and I lead the files teams.
Hi.
Harris?
Thank you, Harris. My name is Harris Talbot. Good to be back. I've been there for a while. I guess there's been a lot of demand for French-speaking PMs. Here I am. Product manager on communities. You guys can see me on Success Community to deal with community management, administration, partner community, and so on.
Excellent.
Cool. Well, we're really excited to be here today. It's a lot of fun to show off all these features to everybody. So we're going to start out first. We're going to focus on chatter and files. And we'll show a little bit of community stuff as well now, and then later on, Fabrice will get more into our partner communities. But just to highlight a couple of new features we've added in this release, one of our really big ones is called Chatter Streams. And what this really allows you to do is to take all the various feeds from different items within the Salesforce experience and put them together into a single place, so you can have one place to check up on what's going on, whether that be groups or people or whatnot. And Harris will be showing that a little bit later. We've also enhanced our live feeds technology. We have something called live typing presence. You can actually tell when people are typing. We've replaced the all company feed with something called company highlights, which is an Einstein-enabled feature, which is really great. We've got a new feature which is close to my heart since I'm the product manager for it, called direct messages, which is a newly imagined private messaging feature within our communities itself. And then on the file side, we've got some really great stuff that we've improved. One particular one is being able to take a link from Google Drive and then have that turn into an attachment. We've made some enhancement to the Files UI so that we can now attach files from anywhere, and whether it be groups or any other entities, as well as we have subfolders and libraries, which is great. And finally, another thing to note is we can now do Apex triggers on downloads, which enables you to make rules, if you want to restrict people from large downloads, as well as enables third parties to do some cool integrations. So let's get to the demo. So we're back, Capricorn Coffee, yes, our old friend. So again, we have our two characters, if you've seen this before, Lauren Boyle, who's our coffee lover and customer, she's a coffee lover. She also this time she actually opened a coffee shop. I don't know if you know that, because she has a
Moving
coffee
up
shop.
in life.
I know she's doing well, but she still has a love for Capricorn, so she uses Capricorn coffee products in her shop in San Francisco. And then we've got Eric, who's our tried and true internal guy from Capricorn Coffee. He does everything and anything under the sun. Specifically, we focus more on community manager, service agent type stuff. And then the community we'll be working in is Capricorn Cafe. So to set up the demo, it'll be kind of in two different parts. The first part will be focused more on the customer community itself, and then how Eric notices a trend and how he deals with it, and then how Lauren kind of sees that, how that plays out. And then after a break, we'll come back to Harris, and he'll show us how Eric can go get answers within the Lightning experience to help answer Lauren's questions. So enough with the chit chat. Let's get to the demo. So here we are, and we're in our community management application, and this is something that Eric, who I'm playing right now, he does every day. He goes and checks up on the community to see how things are going. And one morning, he comes in, he notices that the search terms, there's a big shift in what's happening, and that this Primo Deluxe broken grinder issue is trending really high. So that's an unusual spike that he's seen overnight. And he actually knows that, we had a problem with our grinders that we shipped to California this last year. There was actually a shipment, and there's a problem with the motors, and we had to actually do a recall. And so we know that the searching, we set up a special group for this to handle this, and searching works well, but we really want to make sure that when customers come and they're having this issue specifically from California, that we can reach out to them proactively, right? Because for Capricorn Coffee, it's really important to keep this relationship strong with their customers. So based on this trend he's seeing in the search terms, he can go here into the builder, and now we're showing off a new feature that we've created in Spring 17, where we can actually create page variations based on a person's location. So in this example, we've kind of started up here, and then we'll publish it to show you. But we've created this page variation based on California. And it could be based on state, it could be based on country, based on counties, and even based on cities. And you create these variations, and we'll save it here. And then we also, on this page variation, create this little quick banner that's saying, "Attention California customers, there's this recall," and it takes them right directly to this group we created. So let's publish that, and we'll go over here. And now I'm going to become Lauren. So that was a nice little change there. And you see right now, she's not logged in, and there's no banner. So why don't we, by now it should have probably published, we'll refresh this page, and we'll see here that, lo and behold, there we go. So I'm getting this banner here because I'm in California. This is where we're taping this right now, and this is specifically targeted to me. If someone were to log in, say from Massachusetts, Nevada, wherever else, they wouldn't see this banner. So we're specifically targeting it because of this recall that's specifically happening to people in California.
So you're targeting this by geolocation
That's
using
correct.
IP address, right?
That's correct. Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really easy, and you could just, we didn't show it there, but you can just really search for any location. It pops up in the list, and you type it right in. So what Eric had already done, like I said, is he'd created this group, and then here the group, this is just a reminder of something we started last release, and now it's generally available. Harris will show it as well in the Lightning experiences. You can customize groups based on a need. So here, this one, they created this group specifically for the recall, because I want to make sure I have a place where a person get all the information they need about this California recall, and they can customize the layout. You can add different widgets and all that kind of good stuff. So here's Lauren's looking at this. She kind of reads about what's going on. She can see that she's affected by it. And like I said, she owns this business in San Francisco, and she actually uses this grinder in her business. And she needs this grinder to keep working. And one of her, the coffee maker she uses this something called a platinum pour-over system. So we got to figure out what the best grinder is to replace the one she's got so that it works well with her platinum pour-over system. So she goes ahead and searches for grinder, and she sees these results are very cool, but not exactly what she wants, so let's click the search as well. And here what I want to point out is we've done some work to improve search. Not only do you have the typical things that we've had search in the past, but now you can actually make it so that you can search anything within Salesforce, any object, and you can configure that however you want. We also use Einstein technology to help pull out the most relevant items based on trending and so forth to show it in the results as well. So here's all, you can see discussions, we've got articles, groups and files and all that stuff. all highlighted for people, and this is all customizable. Like I said, this is new technology in Spring 17, being able to put anything you want in. So it's really great stuff. So she doesn't exactly find what she wants, so why don't we go take a look at topics. We're going to go look over at the coffee solutions topic here. And in this, we'll start seeing a few things. First of all, there's this follow button here, which allows you to follow a topic. And just again, a reminder, topics are how we organized information within the community. So any post or anything like that, you can tag it with a topic, and it's a way to keep it nice and organized so that you can help find things, make things more discoverable in the community. So if I want to follow this coffee solutions topic, I could follow it, and when anything new happens with Coffee Solutions, I could get an email notification about it if that's something that's really important to me. As well as here, you can see we have related topics, and as what's also people are following it, we get some stats here. Another cool thing with topics is you can have subtopics. So we're going to jump down here to some subtopics. So you see tips and tricks, which is under Coffee Solutions and French press. So you get some breadcrumbs to where you come from. Here again, we've got related topics. It's just the Einstein technology showing up, which is really useful. We've also got training articles. Here we can see these are related articles to this topic. We can go take a look here at the history of a coffee grinder because Lauren's got a little distracted and she's just curious about what's going on. So she's taking a look at this. Yeah, it's interesting. But again, just to point out another cool Einstein feature here, we've got related articles. So as she's browsing around, trying to figure out what to do, we actually have these knowledge articles here, and we're showing related ones, and also giving you some information about how much of a trend they are. So all good stuff, but ultimately, Lauren needs to get her answer, right? She needs to make sure she gets this replacement taken care of because, like I said, this is her business. So let's go back to the homepage, and she's actually going to go log in right now because she can't do anything until she logs in. So we're logging here.
So it's really fantastic how you could see so much information without logging in.
Yep.
So from an SEO perspective, that's really great, right? You can search for this in Google, come into a page, read lots of different content and articles. And if you want to engage with the community, you can sign up. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a really great point, Harris. It's really important that people be able to discover information within these customer communities without having to authenticate, right? And all this information that I just demoed there was all available to her without even having to log in. But once she decides she wants to engage, then we make it easy to do that. So now we're logged in, and I just want to point out here, just a little bit of showing off our customization of the homepage. As you recall, earlier, because I made that targeted banner for California, I don't see that anymore, right? Because we have a different experience now based on Lauren's profile when she logs in. So I'm seeing a slightly different layout, a slightly different experience based on that profile now because she's authenticated. Again,
so that's
all
really
customizable.
Cool. So you can customize by themes, by profiles, by location, and a blend of those things.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes it really powerful. You just create the variations you want, put the different components in you want for that variation, and you publish like I showed you, and you're good to go. So let's go back to that group, and back to it, and you see again, now that I'm logged in, we can see that we can ask questions and so forth, but Lauren doesn't really want to ask this question about what the grinder is to everybody. She really wants to make this more targeted, and she sees that this guy Eric, our friend Eric Ware, he was the one who's made this kind of official post saying, here's what's recalled, here's where the serial number is, and here's the range, and she discovered it was hers. So she just wants to reach out to him. Now, if you recall from previous demos, we would show how we could create a post or question and auto-escalate to a case. All that stuff you can still do, but what we want to show here is a new feature that we've added to our communities called direct messages. So what we'll do here is we'll click here, share, and we'll say send as message. And the really cool thing about how this works when you're doing it off a post or a question or whatever is that you can see right here it gets attached as a payload. So once we send this message, the context of the origin of it is kept. So when Eric gets it, he's like, what is she talking about? What's this thing? Oh, it's the post I made in that group. I completely understand where this is coming from. You could also imagine it used in a case where, say, Eric, the community manager, is responding to a customer who's maybe had a problem with something and they're posting, and you don't want to have that whole discussion, publicly. You can take that, Eric can click on that, share it, and then have that discussion in a private venue. And this conversation could be one-to-one or one-to-many. So in this case, we're just going to do it with Eric, because Eric's our guy, and need new grinder. And because this is live, we're going to copy some text because you don't want to watch me type. And one thing I want to point out here is right out of the gate here, we can do cool things like rich text and all that. I can also I can do inline images. All that stuff's already supported in direct messages. We hit send here. Our message was sent, and we can go look at it now in our messages page. And again, just to show you here's the message I just sent to him, and then here's the original post that keeps that context, so that when Eric receives this, he'll know what Lauren's coming from and why she's reaching out to him.
This is, David, a huge feature, right? And you mentioned a couple of use cases that could benefit the customers, but I can think of another one. We have many community managers here who would like sometimes to reach out in a private way to the members, and this is just a great feature just to do that in the context of the community.
Yeah, it's really great, and this is just the beginning of it, honestly, and we've got really awesome plans for it in the future. So I think now, if there's any questions out there, we'd love to answer them.
I think that makes sense. Elna, we're showing off a lot of features that are really going to help empower our customers to intelligently drive their business within their community. So I expect to see a lot of community engagement around this. What do you see?
I expect that as well. I just want to remind everybody, make sure that if you're posting a question in Twitter or in the Release Readiness group in the Success community, this is the Community Cloud segment after all. So please make sure to use the hashtag Salesforce Live, all lowercase. That way we will be sure to find it, because I am following that hashtag specifically. Now I am thinking about the private so this is similar to the private message classic, right? So I'm thinking about how you would use that, and would another use case be maybe, I know a lot of people are thinking about support and how that would integrate with support, but perhaps you have somebody maybe in marketing who's posted something on there and somebody has a clarification question, maybe that could even be forwarded and ultimately become a lead or something else other than a case.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you could use it for any type of like one-to-one or one-to-many communication. One thing that we didn't show in the demo here, but I think it's really important to point out is you can actually start those messages from anywhere, really. By once you enable them in your community, when you do a hover card, which is when you put your mouse over someone's name on a post, or when you go to their profile, there's a button to send a new message to them. So you can click that button, and then their name's automatically populated, and you can add other people if you so desire. And also, you can use it as a way to share files with people. So if you, like I said, you go to their profile, you click it, and I send it to you, Mike. I could attach files to that, and it's a way to share, privately share files with somebody if you want to within the community. That's one thing I've heard from talking with customers, is that they oftentimes have like maybe partners or something, and they want to share like a specific file with that person rather than the whole entire community. So it really helps solve that problem.
Yeah, sometimes when I use that feature, I loop in other folks in the conversation. Can you do that with this?
Not in the current release, but good news is the team's working hard on it for next release. So that's in plan for the next release, is to be able to add and remove people.
I find that especially useful as a community moderator, because if somebody might send me a private message and I may not be the right person to answer the question, but I want to keep it in that thread and not have to move it somewhere else. So
and one thing too also to point out, since you are a moderator, we didn't forget you when we built that feature. In that there are people out there that do naughty things in communities, and you could obviously see that people could reach out to you and try to use it as a spam vector or a way to solicit people. So there is moderation built into it right away from day one. So if someone does receive a direct message from somebody, probably like Harris, for example, that you can flag that message, and the moderator will get notified, and then they can take care of deleting it and reaching out to the offending person.
All right.
Excellent.
Do you want questions about libraries now, or are you going to talk more about that first?
I think we actually have some information in store for our customers about libraries, Elna. So if you don't mind, I think we're going to cut off the questions here and pass things over to Harris so we can do just that.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. We will cover libraries in our demo, and then we can answer some questions as well. So what I'm starting in is Eric. Just as a reminder, Eric wears lots of hats. He is the community moderator. He's also the admin. Right now, I'm in our beautiful Lightning experience in the Chatter home. So I want to point out a couple different things. We've made several different changes. One is company highlights. You can see streams as well, and you see a list of your recent groups. I'm going to jump into company highlights and provide a quick harbor tour of that in streams. So what is Company Highlights? Company Highlights is our Einstein-powered feed. So we've heard lots of feedback, like different customers are interested in different information, different orgs are interested in different types of information. And what the Company Highlight feed does is it takes the most relevant information and leverages social signals and surfaces those up to you, right? So it's the Company Highlight feed is going to be very different on a per user basis in an organization and from an organization to an organization. So it's really hyper-targeted, it's really focused, so all the key information is right there. And Natalia, our PM's worked on this. She's sitting in the back, so I want to give a shout out to her because she's helping us throughout the demo as we do this. Another thing I want to point out is streams. So what is streams? I'm a geek, so I think of it as RSS feeds, but for the general public, it's when you want to aggregate, specific discussions and feeds for different things, like, cases about the Grindr issue or a particular group, or a combination of different objects like accounts and cases, you can create a stream just for that. So then you can pay attention to any conversation around a particular topic. That's really, really something, right? So not only are we providing you an algorithmic way of kind of funneling your conversations, we're also providing you with a targeted, user-curated way of doing this. So I press the plus button. I'm in a new stream. I'm going to create a stream called My Cases, right? And this is just a stream I'm going to pull for different types of cases. I created the stream name. I'm going to edit the screen. And here, I can pick a number of different objects. So you can see the usual suspects here. You have accounts, etc. Let's scroll down a little bit and pick cases. So I pick case. And I'm going to type in a few case IDs. So the best coffee grinder, there's a case around the coffee grinder again. I'm interested in that. Let's pick another case. It's about product setup issues. Maybe these are two cases I'm interested in, and any conversations around this I want to save. So I'm just going to press save. And it took a fraction of a second, and now I have this rich stream pulling in the feed and the discussions around these topics.
So it makes it, Harris, I think what you're saying is like, if you have like really important cases, or if you're a salesperson and you've got like your top opportunities or something like that, you can kind of put them all into a single place. And then that's the place you can go to catch up on all of them, rather than having to go to each opportunity or group and then people and all those things. You just go to this one place, catch up on everything.
Absolutely. It's a focused lens into the things that matter, right? So and a good point that you mentioned, right? For a salesperson, maybe you care about a few different opportunities and the 2 accounts that you manage. You can just create a stream for those accounts and opportunities, and you'll get all the relevant information for there in one single place. And that's how you can start your day if you wanted to. That's really powerful. So I do have a stream that I created earlier called Grindr Recall. If we just scroll through this really quickly, we'll see a number of different things. So I'm seeing a feed post from the Platinum Pour-Over Experts group. I'm also seeing streams from different cases. So this is a practical example of how you create a rich stream and you see all your relevant information from different places. All right, so what I want to do next is go into groups. I'll go into Platinum Pour-Over groups, but I want to point out a couple different things. I'm clicking this drop-down right here, and the thing you'll notice is now you can see your most recent groups, and you can see your favorite groups, and you can also search for different lists of groups like My Groups and Active Groups. Let me click into Active Groups. Here's another new feature. We do have groups in list view, and you can switch over by clicking this tile here, but this is the tile view. This is a beautiful view of all your groups. So instead of trying to squint and figuring out which groups are most important, you can see your group information right there, the number of members, the last post, the banner, and you can then jump into the group that's most relevant.
It really helps you like visually see, like especially if you take the time you have to customize the banner, like we're showing here, and the highlight photo. It's like a clear like vision of like, oh, that's the group I want. I don't have to read the name of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how I use this. I've stopped paying attention to names of groups. I know them from background images. But here I want to jump into the Platinum Pour-Over Experts group. So David talked about this group earlier. All the experts at Capricorn Coffee, they huddle in here. I want to, before we jump into the group, let me point out a few key things, right? So group is the collaboration container for a special interest or topic or for a team. And you can really customize groups for your use cases. This is a group for support discussions. So you can see on the right side, there's a coffee supplier cases, and you can see new cases, and you can see closed cases. Great, there are tons of new cases coming in. We have 21 new cases. If this was a sales group, you could really customize the template of this group so you would have a lead inbox or surface relevant files and things like that. So from group to group, you can really customize the experience for what you want.
So could you even create a group that only could say people could ask questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I want to show you next, right? So here in the chatter section, you see posts and announcements. You know this, you love these, but we have a new type of post as well. It's the question post. So the great thing about the question post is if people answer these posts, they come in as answers, and then other users and the moderators can vote for the best answers and surface them to the top. And leveraging Einstein, we always suck in this information and we'll highlight these things higher. So that's really powerful. And to David's question, you can in fact create groups only for support use cases, and you can remove the post in the announcement type posts and just have questions. So it's effectively you're creating a Q&A group, which is super powerful.
Love it. I personally like the menu in the header. Every day when I start my day, I have to look at a couple of groups, typically the team I work with, and having that directly accessible in just one click is just awesome.
Yeah, so you can focus on eating your breakfast and
absolutely having my croissant and having a good day.
Fantastic. So let's keep scrolling down. I want to point out a few neat features as Eric continues his journey. So Eric is scrolling down. You can see inline images in the feed. You can see GIFs as well. It's a feature we introduced earlier, but it's really cool. So I'm just going to click this because I got really excited when images are animating. And I can tell you within Salesforce, there are lots of kitten GIFs that people are sharing and unicorns.
Just to be clear, Harris is that guy.
Guilty as charged. A few other things to point out, right? So our chatter posts are rich, right? You can have bullets, you can have underlines, you can bold things, and you can see the count comment. One of the new features is you can also see the view comments here, so you're seeing a lot more information. Let's scroll up here. So our friend Anna Wang has a question about the manual pour-over coffee system. Eric's actually experienced this before, so he does have an answer. So he's going to go in here and share a file with her. So I'm going to click this icon. The demo gods are not my friends today, so I'm going to click it again, and it should work. There we go. All right, so this is the file selector. The file selector, what it does is it really helps you take files from within Salesforce. So you could go to Owned by Me, Shared with Me, Recents, etc. You could upload a new file from your desktop as well, clicking the Upload a File button. But what's new here is now you can also bring in files from libraries. And what are libraries? Libraries are used for a lot of different use cases. In the sales use case, people use them for official content, right? If a sales file has been vetted and approved, they'll put them in the library, they'll organize it, they'll inform the sales team that this is the official library for the grinders, this is the official library for beans, and so then salespeople can go out and share this. The other thing you'll notice here is external sources. So now you can access your Box, Google Drive, OneDrive, and SharePoint right within here. This file selector with the libraries and the external sources is available across groups, records, so on a case you can attach a library or pick a file from Google Drive as well. So we're really making the salesperson or the community manager or the support person really productive, right? Of course you can search as well. What I'm going to do is go into libraries and highlight another new feature. So I click libraries. The library I'm interested in is the manuals library. I'm going to drill in and look at this. Now you have subfolders in libraries. So with the most active libraries, and we've seen people have hundreds to thousands of files in them, you can actually, in fact, organize them in folders, right? To make sense of all the content that you have. Here, I'm going to jump into a folder called Grinders. I jump into this folder called Grinder. You can see a number of different files in here. In fact, what I want to do is I can press the back button as well and really easily traverse back. I'm going to go into the coffee makers one and share the PDF for the Platinum Pour-Over Coffee model, the 2017 version of this. So add a file really easily from the library, and the sharing models are taken care of in the back. Now this file is shared to Anna. Here you go. So really easily, I answered this question. And this question comes up quite a lot. So another cool feature that David and team have built is you can really easily share your post to your followers. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I click the share button, which is now available next to the like and answers because this is a question. And it's already selecting my followers, and I can, I can type a message, but I'm just going to repost it because I have some people who religiously look at my posts every day.
Yeah.
When I'm eating breakfast, I respond to them as well.
I'm not one of those. Just so you know.
Eris is pretty famous at Salesforce.
Yeah, one thing I think we should also point out, if people noticed during the demo in the customer community, is that when we were doing that share action for direct message, there was also a share there, like you just demoed in the Lightning experience. So you can do that same sharing action in the community as well.
Yeah, that's a really great point. So perfect. So now let's scroll back up, right? What I want to do is get our friend Lauren an answer. And I'm going to reach out to Annie, played by Natalia in the back, and ask her for some help. Annie, Lauren is having issues, I type slow, please bear with me, with her grinder, what to do. So I'm going to just share this out right now. And I posted this. And then, we have something called live feeds as well. And what live feed does is, as you're working, you'll see the feed come in.
What's happening there?
Magic. Okay, so there you go. You see these 3 dots moving around, and it says Annie Schneider is typing. This is actually live feed presence. We've made enhancements to the live feed so that now, as people are typing, you know what's happening. I was about to type and mention her again and annoy her because Lauren's a really top customer and I want to get her answers really quickly. But I know Annie's already typing and providing me with an answer, so I'm just going to wait for her to answer my questions. That's pretty powerful. So this really makes collaboration feel real-time and engaging and discussion active.
Yeah.
And while I was talking, Annie has just responded. So hey, Eric, you should send the customer the KB article on the best coffee grinders. Okay, perfect. So I know the answer. I know what to do. One thing I'm going to do is also share some information about her coffee shop just because. So here I'm switching over to my notes. I'm going to copy a Google Drive file because I want to paste this into the feed. We talked about this earlier when we were looking at the slides. And I'm going to paste the Google Drive file right here. And one thing you can see, the Google Drive file is loaded. It's turned into a pill. There's a lot happening in the background. So now, if you want to pull in a file from an external source, you don't have to go to the source. You can, in fact, just copy the link and paste it, at least for Google Drive in this release, and hopefully for the other repositories in the next several releases.
So I think this makes it so that you could obviously use the attachment, the dialogue that you showed earlier, if you wanted to, right, to browse for the file. But if you happen to be in your Google Doc itself, you just go up to the doc there, grab the link, and paste it in. You don't have to go look for it.
That's typically the flow. People are looking at a document, they decide they want to share it. They'll just copy the link. They can go into the feed. They can post it. While I was talking, more posts are coming in. I click the one new post. Live conversations just flowing in. This group it's exciting, right? There's just a lot of discussion happening. So, as soon as I made this post, you can see the thumbnail here. This file is turned into a file reference using our Files Connect technology. What does that mean? It means now you can search for this file. It'll appear in the file selector. It'll appear in your recents because you just posted it. Other users can find it as well. So it's done all of this in the background with just a copy paste. That's pretty cool. So Eric has his answers. What am I going to do next? I'm going to switch over as Eric into the community itself. So I'm just tabbing over back to Capricorn Coffee. Again, this experience would be customized for Eric, so it'll be different for Eric versus Lauren. And you can see there are recent messages here. Let me go into Lauren Boyle's comments.
And that component there that we saw, that's something you can optionally add to your community, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. You can drag it to your homepage or somewhere else. You can move it around through the builder. So you have complete flexibility in terms of how you want to leverage this component. So David showed this to you earlier. You can see the original post, so there's context. You see Lauren's message. And I'm going to give her the good news. Good news. We're sending you a new grinder. Lauren's going to be excited. Reply. Everyone likes to, end with a happy ending. It's the holidays just wrapped up, so we're giving Lauren a present. So that wraps up my journey. Let's take some questions, Mike.
Absolutely. So as we're getting to Elna, I just want to point out some recurring themes that I'm seeing as we're going through the demos. It seems like we're putting an emphasis on being faster. and being smarter and giving more power to our users for them to decide how they're going to utilize our tools. I mean, would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. You saw that with streams, you saw that with customizing the groups, you saw that with customizing the pages and dragging your components. It's all about providing the customer the power to do what they want.
Perfect. Well, having said that, I am extremely interested to hear what our customers are thinking about this latest session. Elma, what are you seeing?
I've been collecting questions as we go here. Lots of great content here, and definitely the auto refresh or making collaboration real time is definitely awesome. And thank you, Paul, for that comment. And so I do have a number of questions. And the first thing that comes to mind is when you're thinking about using libraries in the community, what would be some examples of use cases where you would use a content library versus knowledge, say?
Yeah, great question. So the way I think about knowledge, it's like an HTML page, right? It's structured content. You have a header, you have a body of text, you can attach some things, right? And that's really great in a customer use case where you want the knowledge page to be indexed and it's SEO optimized and someone can find it. When you're a salesperson and you're making a pitch, right? You're selling an X-ray machine or a coffee grinder. You want to organize your file in a particular way. You want it to look like a slide, right? And you want to present a slide. So that's where the file comes in. Maybe you were providing a pricing sheet and you want it to look like a grid or a table. That's where an Excel sheet comes in. So you should think about what's the right presentation format for your content. And sometimes it might be a knowledge article and sometimes it might be a file.
Great. Now, how does this external sharing compare with, say, content delivery? Is it the same thing? Is it a new version of the same, porting over from Classic, or?
The external sharing. So content delivery is a feature that we're actively working on in this release. And what content delivery allows you to do is take a file and share it externally with other users, right? And you can then set passwords on this. You can hopefully in the future you'll also be able to put an expiry timer on it. So you say this link is valid only for 24 hours if it's sensitive information. Other things that we're working on, Safe Harbor, of course, is tracking exactly what's happening with the content. How are people consuming it? So if you share a file out to Mike, for example, I can track how much time are people spending on the file on a per page basis, and you get lots of analytics. And we're working on this, and hopefully in the next couple of releases, you'll see some amazing things that'll help you really hone your content based off the feedback that you're getting, passively from your customers.
Yeah, and I think that passive feedback is something that we really need to focus on, because let's say I spend 3 days working on a document, I send it to you, and you look at it for all of 10 seconds. Obviously, I missed the mark somewhere with that document, but you might not tell me that explicitly. That passive feedback is extremely important for our customers to realize how they need to drive their business.
Absolutely. David usually ignores my documents, and you'll be able to track that as well. But for most other people, yes. And we're going to aggregate this data across multiple customers, right? So you know what different customers are doing and on average what's happening with your content. So that's really powerful.
Excellent.
Great
So
point.
Samantha brings up a really good question. I want to make sure everybody's clear on where Chatter is going in terms of Lightning experience versus Classic. So can you just talk about these features that we're discussing today? Are these Lightning features in terms of internal Chatter Lightning and Lightning communities? Are any of these available in Classic? And can you explain, kind of the different direction that Chatter is going?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer that one. So everything we showed there, as far as the features that Harris demoed, those are all features that are in the Lightning experience. And obviously we're in a bit of a transition right now from the Classic to Lightning experience. But we're really investing heavily in making the best experience that we can, and that's all happening in Lightning. We feel from a Chatter perspective that we've far surpassed the features and functionality that we have in Classic. So we encourage everybody to switch over when appropriate to do that. If you can't right now, that they're big waiting for you, and obviously you can switch back and forth if those haven't had enabled in their organization. There's still the ability to have use the Classic experience if you have to. So yes, everything is Lightning experience. As far as Lightning communities, the richness of Chatter and all that is available there. The live fleets, technology channels, all that stuff's going to work its way over into our communities as well. I don't have a specific time frame I could give you, but it's definitely in plan to do that.
Okay. One more question about the direct message.
Sure.
So can community users toggle whether they want to receive these at the user level?
Right. So right now it's based on you can toggle it based on it's based on Chatter. There's no ability to turn off just direct messages specifically for a particular person. So if the person has access to Chatter, they'll have access to direct messages. That being said, if you have different communities, maybe one community, it's appropriate to have this direct messaging feature turned on, and another one it's not. You have that ability to control it like on a per community basis. So if like I said, if one's just not the right place for that, then you don't need to have it. Obviously,
one of the things you could potentially do, I'm just throwing this out there, and so correct me if I'm wrong, is you saw this component on the home page, right, where you saw direct messages. Because of the theming by profile, you can choose to not surface that component for a certain type of users. Right. So they're not, that feature is not highlighted, right? They don't have easy access to it.
Yeah, and you actually control, to your point, Harris, you can control even, we didn't show it, but in the menu within the community, there's a link that you can add that says My Messages. You can have control on whether that's shown or not as well. So you could do it that way where it's a little bit hidden but still available. But yeah, it's definitely, we've heard that feedback before. It's definitely something we're considering. But we're really excited about this feature. The team's been working on it really hard for a couple of releases now. And for those of you familiar with private messages, feature-wise, we've already surpassed that as far as what it can do and what you can do with it. So we're really excited for everyone to take a look at it.
Yeah, and so everybody who's relied on this private message in the past should be just as excited, if not more, to get into these direct messages because we just gave them a whole lot more to play with.
Exactly.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Elna, for running those questions, and Harris, thank you so much for sharing on that latest segment. Now, I want to pass things over to Fabrice to tell us the latest around partner communities. And this is a segment I'm very excited for because there's been a lot of buzz around this product, around partner communities, dating all the way back to Dreamforce. Fabrice.
Thank you, Mike. And indeed, do you know that the last Dreamforce was the first time we showed a Lightning partner community? And that's a direct result of an investment on the Lightning community. And you're going to show a lot of innovation today around partner community. But before that, I'd like to just go back to our deck and highlight a couple of the key features we are releasing. There's a lot happening, as you've seen earlier in the demo. One of the things I want to call out again is the ability to deliver personalized experience. So we've seen the demo with the California recall. We can target content based on profile, based on geo, and based on record type. And we're going to do more in the future. It gives customers a lot of flexibility to build really those great rich and personalized experiences. And we also let you now do theming at a page level. Again, giving much more control around your branding on your site and give that superb experience to your customers or your partners. One thing you guys will all be excited about is support for mobile actions. Okay, so I'm going to demo that, but now you can create, update, edit, record from your mobile. And we still didn't forget the community managers. And one thing, we're not going to demo in details today, but I just wanted to call it out because this is really awesome. We have an integration with Google Analytics, much deeper than what you had. So we already supported Google Analytics, but now today, you can enable that integration, and we're going to track case deflection, the question being posted from the Omnibox in the self-service community. How we can track how your contact support page is performing and how often your users are clicking on articles. This is the kind of metrics the community managers and support people want to see. So it's all built into the integration with Google Analytics. And finally, something we'll see in more details again around partner community. We have now integration with Wave and with the Salesforce CPQ. So having said that, I'd like to set the context for the demo today. So we'll have basically two demos. One is around Lightning partner community. So I'll use a fictitious company called Pacifica. Pacifica is a reseller of hardware. Well, they sell hardware and software, and they use an indirect sales channel to sell the product. And I'm going to play James Preston. So get used to James because you're going to see that guy a lot. So it's a bit like Lauren, right? Yeah. And James is a very nice guy. He's a VP of sales at CTW. So CTW is a company that resells Pacifica's product. So once we'll be done with Lightning Partner Community demo, we'll switch to Erica Ware, who will be a community admin.
Is that Eric's cousin or is that Eric's twin sister?
That's his sister.
That's his sister.
Yeah.
Just as talented.
Just as talented, just as busy.
Yeah.
She looks gorgeous, and we're going to see how she can benefit from the new workspace UX. So stay tuned. So let's switch now to the demo. So Pacifica built a community for the partners. This is the place where partners can get trained, educated about the product. They can do marketing with Pacifica and sell the product. What's great is that as you get to that homepage, you see that the partners get a rich and modern experience. This is because this community is built on the Lightning partner community. And as a reseller, I'm logged in as James here, as you can see here. James has access to all his CRM data, his account, contacts, leads, opportunity. He can also browse the content library, right, to access marketing collaterals, technical specs. He can also get support from Pacifica all in one place. And one thing I'm really happy to show you in for Spring 17 is the ability for partners to track the task, the My Task list view. So as a partner, you can quickly access the task you created, and as you arrive on the community, you know what you need to do. You can organize your day and be productive. And obviously, partners spend a lot of time on the road, right? Those people are selling, so they meet customers. And today, James is visiting one of his customers, Harmon Manufacturing.
So is he going to have to pull out his laptop to take a look at this, or can he do this on his mobile phone?
Okay, let's do that from the mobile phone, right? Because obviously he will not be working on his laptop as he's traveling, right? So we're going to switch to mobile. And as you know, the Lightning communities are responsive out of the box. So you get that mobile experience for free, right? Without doing anything.
Yeah.
But what's great in Spring 17 is that we let you work on records, update those records. You can create them, update them, delete them. So let's see how it works for James. He just finished his meeting with Harmon Manufacturing. It was a great prospect, great opportunity. Meeting went well, and the customer wants a proposal and a quote. So what he's going to do from his mobile, he's going to go to the Harmon Manufacturing opportunity. So it's very easy, right? And from there, he's going to change the stage. He was in a prospecting stage, so he'll mark the stage as complete, right? A couple of seconds, he just updated the opportunity stage. So everybody can track the opportunity. And because he's in his taxi on his way back to the airport, he doesn't have time really to create a quote. He wants to do that tomorrow. So he's just going to create a task as a reminder. So from his mobile, you see, now as I go into open activities, you can see the new task and new event. So you can create records. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a task for myself as a reminder to send the quote. This is pretty urgent because I really want to close that deal. So I'll make it due date, let's say tomorrow. And we're just going to save that. And that's it. Just in a couple of seconds from his mobile, James was able to update the opportunity, send a task, and he can go on to his next meeting. So we're going to switch back to the desktop now. James is back at the office. Time passed, maybe it's the next day. And now he goes back to his community. And you'll notice that as we refresh that page, just going to show you that the task has been created.
And the cool thing about tasks, you can assign it to other people, right? So you can, as a manager, you can assign a task to someone else.
Exactly. You can get all the people to do the work for you,
exactly.
Right? That's great. And so
Sound familiar?
That's what I live for.
So you can see the task I just created with a typo, and I can go directly to the opportunity. And now James knows he has to send that proposal and quote. If we have channel managers here, they realize that that's a very complex process. At many companies, it takes days. But now we have a great news for you guys. We have Salesforce CPQ available on communities, which means that Pacifica can provide a great quote experience to their partners. And as a partner, James can create quickly a quote in just a matter of seconds. So we have the quote already created here using Salesforce CPQ. And what's great about Salesforce CPQ is that it also generates a proposal. So James now can access the proposal, get the document created. It's all branded. It has all the products with the right price and right quantity, and it has all the legal language embedded. And that document can be generated in seconds, which means that James can quickly send an accurate proposal to his customer without any effort. So again, this is very important for that type of processes, and Salesforce CPQ is just making that whole process very easy.
Is there anything that customers would need to do in order to get CPQ in their community?
Yes, Salesforce CPQ comes as an add-on. So if you want it, you should definitely talk to your AE to see how you can add it to the product.
And this file is pretty cool too. So because this is HTML, I imagine you can open this on your mobile device as well, and you have access to it anywhere.
Exactly. That's a great advantage of the Lightning Partner Community. It's mobile ready out of the box.
Yeah.
In a way, it's like taking your own, extending the CRM to the partners and putting a CRM inside the pocket.
Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. Great. There is more. There is more innovation to partner community.
Tell us more, Fabrice.
Yes. This is one thing. I think we had many requests. I had many requests for the last couple of years. So just give me a second. It looks like we have a connection issue. So I'm going to refresh. It's looking great. So one thing partners have been asking for years is the ability to create list view, right? And now you have it in Spring 17. Yes, you can let your own partner create list view. You don't have to ask the admin to create this list view. So let me show you. And by the way, I'm showing you here the Kanban view, another innovation we brought into the product back in winter. It makes it very easy to organize your opportunity by stage. But here, James wants really to look at the opportunities that are going to close this month. Right? Because he's a sales guy, he's really focused, and he wants easy access to those specific opportunities. There is no list view yet for this, so we are going to create one. So top deals this month. Okay. So you can see this is a private list view, only accessible to him. And as I create the list view, right now, there's all my opportunities. So I need to add some filter. So let's put a filter on the close date, and let's say I want the opportunities for this month. Great. That's the first one. And let's say, so you see the list is already filtered out. And let's say, in addition, I just want to look at this opportunity that I need to close, right, that at the right stage. So we are going to select stage equal proposal. Here, okay, and negotiation review. So I'm able to select multiple entries.
And you're applying multiple filters.
Yeah, multiple filters, multiple entries on the stage, and voila. You have the two opportunities you really want to focus your time on right now. Easy, right? Couple of seconds.
That's super
That's
powerful.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So one other thing that is critical for partners is the ability to analyze the business, the performance, how well they are doing in selling the product from Pacifica. And in winter, we added two components to Lightning Community, a report component and a dashboard component, which was great. But you could not really browse your reports folders, your dashboard folders. Guess what? This is now possible in Spring. Here we go. So picture this. James is also managing a team of salespeople at CTW. So he has access to folders. Folders, the Salesforce and Forecast Reports is a folder shared by Pacifica. So reports created by Pacifica. But he can also access his own folder. So the CTW Reseller Report is a folder specific to CTW. And now James is able to create reports. This is a capability that has been there for a while. But what's more interesting is that now James can go into his open pipeline, and he get that great visually appealing report. He can look at the data, maybe see his pipeline by stage again, access the data below, and he can even maybe reach out to his team if you want to follow up on those reports, maybe to know what's going on with the opportunities. Or in that case, I'll just use his channel manager and say, hey, we're looking good this month. Okay, and she can go back to the report.
So that's really cool, Fabrice. So like the report itself is beautiful. You click and it animates, but the thing that's amazing to me is you can actually drive business process forward within the report itself. You just mentioned the channel manager, and now she knows, right?
Absolutely. We are making those business processes really actionable from within the community. The same is true for the list view, the Kanban view. You can show analytics. So the idea is that really you don't have, in the past, you would have to go to different places to be able to do your job. Now we really provide all the information in context so you can be productive, you can go fast, and you can spend more time on selling.
Very cool.
That is pretty powerful.
Very.
So we've seen the operational analytics, but there's another great announcement for Spring around analytics. Wave is available in Lightning Community. And this is huge for partners. This means that you can equip your partners with a business intelligence tool to grow the business and eventually to grow your own channel. So let's look at...
That doesn't look like France to me.
No. James is still based in the US. Maybe next time we'll have his friend from Paris, right? And I can give the demo in French.
Can we do the demo? Can we move the demo to Paris? Is that
That sounds fair.
Okay.
Yeah, we should probably try that.
Okay.
And so in that case, James, he's seeing his Wave dashboard. So Pacifica now has built a Wave dashboard for their partners, really to be able to get a 360 view on their business performance. And what's very interesting with the Wave dashboard is that, well, first it's very appealing. I understand what's happening, right? It's very visual. Then I can drill down into the data. So I can look at my open opportunity. I see in which states my salespeople are selling. I could filter by quarter or by product I'm selling. And everything is very interactive. And this is great maybe to identify new opportunity around product, maybe to develop a new business plan with Pacifica. So this is a great way, again, to analyze what's happening and to grow your business. But even better, Pacifica could maybe collect some point of sales data to enrich the Wave dashboard. Or maybe, like in that example, collect some IoT signals and make them available. So you know how your hardware is selling. And maybe you want to use that to tell your partner, hey, we might want to go back to that customer because that hardware is going to fail in the next 6 months or 12 months. And we might look at a replacement here. A lot of opportunities to help partners. So this concludes the first part of my demo. The Lightning Partner Community. What do you think it was?
I'm ready to use it.
Yeah?
That is really slick, right?
Yeah.
It's
Interactive, all the key things, lead inbox, quotes, dashboards, and reports.
Yeah, and I think it really just shows like how focused our team's been on building this out, and like how much really we've been listening to customer feedback and trying to do our best to integrate it as soon as possible into the community itself.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at all the features that we're offering to our partner community users, I mean, there's a lot of power that we're giving to both our community moderators and our individual community users. And hopefully that momentum is going to save a lot of people a lot of time and hopefully increase productivity and value across the board.
exactly.
That is the mission.
So talking about productivity, we did not forget about the community admins and the community manager. So now, guys, this is your time. And I'm really excited to introduce the new Community Workspaces. So, but first things, if you want to, I really encourage you to try it. But if you want to try it and you're already using Community, you need to enable Community Workspaces. New customers will get it automatically enabled, but you'll have to enable it. And the way to do it is just to go to your Setup, Community Settings page, and you see here the Enable Community Workspaces. So once you checked this box, you'll have the Community Workspace experience. How does it look? Well, it looks awesome. And we really put a lot of thoughts into that experience. So you can see now, the link is renamed to Community Workspaces. This is the old, in a way, community management console, right? And as you land onto the homepage of the Community Workspaces, we provide here a single location for each of the workspaces you need to do your job. So you have a workspace for Builder. This is where you are going to build, brand, and customize the community. A workspace for moderation, typically targeted at moderators. A workspace for content targeting, topics, recommendation, curating content. A workspace for dashboards, so to analyze the adoption engagement of your community. And a workspace for administration. This is where you set up and configure your community. All those workspaces are accessible just in one click. And to make things even better, we enrich that page with a lot of useful information. And if you scroll down here, you see that we have a quick access to your help and training. You can also access links that are really relevant to you to go back to your org or to access the Success Committee, your favorite group. You always have the Trailhead link one click away, so you can learn about community. And obviously, the release notes is there, right? So you can always go back to it to see how that new feature is relevant to you. So let's go into one of those workspaces. So in a click, I can right now go into Builder if I want to update my community. And you'll notice that in Builder, we also made a couple of changes to make you a bit more productive. So on the left-hand side, we are using icons instead of entirely left pane. This is really to free up some page equity here and help you focus on really being able to see the content. You see here. But what's unique here when you start going through those workspaces, maybe as an admin, you start your journey in Builder. And then you say, oh, but wait, I need to go back to my setup, change one of the settings. This is something you can really do in one click now from that header menu. So each workspace has a standardized header menu that lets you jump between each workspace. So in a click, I can go to my administration, so where I do setup. And maybe I want to go to my preferences, and maybe I want to enable the awesome direct message feature, so I can just do it. And maybe I'm done, and I want to read about the release notes. How do I do that? I go back to Community Workspaces, one click again. So a very streamlined, simple experience. And look at that UX. It's beautiful. One more thing, we heard from community managers and admin. They wanted to be able to quickly jump between communities. We have so many customers who've built multiple communities. Yeah. Before, they had to go to the community site to be able to go back to that page. Now, in one click, you can switch between community and jump into another Community Workspaces.
That's really great. I know because we obviously we do a lot of demos and switch between communities during demos, and having this available to even us, it's so much easier. And the team really took their time, and I think really thinking this through about how to help make sure that community moderators have a great experience, and how they can get their job faster as in their daily lives.
And one last thing we really thought through is it's really about personas here. You might be an admin, you might be a community manager, you might want to curate and manage content, and obviously each of those workspaces are targeted to specific personas, and you can decide who see what. So maybe as an admin, you just see Builder and administration, and as a moderator, you see moderation, content targeting, and dashboards. So you can really configure that.
Yeah, that's great.
So this is the end of my demo, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're really excited about that innovation. So Mike, back to you.
Thank you. And I say they better enjoy what you just showed them, because you just demonstrated so much value for everybody who relies on partner communities. We're making it easier for our customers who rely on those communities to rely on us in the first place. But we have a community moderator on hand here. So Elna, I want to know not just what our customers are thinking, but what you're thinking also. And since this is the last Q&A segment of the session, if you have any bookmark questions, let's just leave a minute or two at the very end to handle those.
Will do. Okay, so I can tell you, first of all, we know what the panel thought of your demo. They thumbs up. But I can tell you that the folks out there are also commenting, and Powell thought it was really cool, your demo. So you got a little shout out there and he also had a question about the Pacifica demo that you showed. How much of that is kind of out of the box with Lightning Partner Community versus custom, and what do you get? What is it built on if you were to get this Lightning Partner Community?
That's a great question. First of all, the Lightning Partner Community had a theme we created, so to get a great look and feel. This is typically something you will do probably on your community. When we build that partner community, this one is still built out of the customer service template. And this is one thing, since we're talking a little bit about roadmap too today, we are planning to launch a native Lightning partner community in summer. So that's something that will come native. So you don't have to rely on the current template. Today, if you want to build a new partner community, we do have a managed package that provides a starter kit for customers to build a community, and it includes a combination of baseline partner template and some key capabilities around lead distribution, deal registration, MDF and co-op, and partner management. So I'd be happy to share the link if you want.
Yeah, that would be great. I think a lot of folks would be interested in that. And I think I've heard this before about, a lot of times there is a managed package first before it becomes sort of native out-of-the-box setup. So definitely want to find out how to get that for those who want to be early adopters.
Absolutely.
And I got to tell you, I've been listening to what you were showing with the CPQ and Wave, and I've seen Wave myself. I know it's an incredibly powerful way to get insights into your data. And boy, to give your partners that same, all this stuff has been coming out for internal sales teams, right? Oh, it's great. They have all these great tools and, all these things coming out. And what about the partners? And now we're actually giving them the same powerful tools. And I think that's really exciting. That was a standout for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you can see there's a huge investment into partner community. We've been laying the ground last year, basically extending the CRM inside the Lightning community, and you can see all that innovation coming. And stay tuned, because I like to say next year is going to be, or this year is going to be the year of partner community. No offense, guys. Okay. But you'll see again a lot of innovation coming on.
Really help them be just as successful as the inside team. So great.
Power to the partners.
Yes, absolutely. So can we go back to some questions, from a smattering of questions in different areas? That we covered a lot of material, and we did have some questions that I didn't get to from the previous segments. So in particular, Samantha was wondering about, we had actually a couple of people wondering about the location sensitivity, like serving up some personalized content. So the page variations based on location, does that work for only authenticated users? Do they have to have a profile, or how does that actually?
It's based really on their IP address. So like accuracy, it could be like if you're on the border of two cities, it may, depending on your IP and your service provider, pick like the city next to you or not. But it's you're going to be within that region, so it's fairly accurate. But it's based on the IP address that you're using, like in your browser. You don't need to be authenticated. The example that I was showing, that was Lauren hadn't authenticated herself yet, so that was in an unauthenticated version. You can do combinations and whatnot to whatever your needs are. So yeah, it's based on IP is really the bottom line.
Yeah, so related question from Merrill. If you wanted to use another address field, let's say, for that location detection, what if somebody's traveling and maybe their IP address isn't really relevant to where they physically are? I know maybe if you're using VPN, you might not have a location-based IP. So how would that work, or how else could you pick up that location?
Yeah, I mean, for like VPN, I think it would show, because you're using that VPN, it would show where you're connecting to. But if, like, say we were in Paris, you wouldn't, even though you're from California and you're traveling, you wouldn't see that banner. But one thing we can do is once Lauren logged in, in the example we had, we kind of made the assumption that she hadn't registered her product, right? Because people don't really register their products, and so if she had actually done that, though, that's something we could have put that into her profile so that when she logged in, people that had, registered the product we realized was them, we added to that profile that they see that banner. So there are other ways that you could target people if you have that information.
And one more location-related question. This was a popular topic from Powell. Which of the new features, this is from Simon. Does the search prioritize results based on location? So if you're searching for something, is it location?
No, the search, the way the search is prioritized is really, that's kind of like an Einstein-enabled feature. So it's really based on the community itself and based on the signals we're receiving as far as like popularity, engagement, and that kind of thing. It's based on that.
Yeah, it's powered by things that you're interested in, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
if you go in and like a topic or comment on a feed post, so it's using you as a user. What are the things you're engaged with? It's going to leverage that to surface results. Obviously, time is also a factor, and there's a number of other signals that go into Einstein. We talked about, for example, best answers, right? So
Yep.
That's another signal. So it's more about what's relevant to you. And location might be the case, and if it is, then you're going to go to a location-based group or a topic or a feed post and have a conversation there, and thus it will, as a result, come up in there. But it's
So
not
location would just be one of many different data points that might
correct.
affect the search results and how they're sorted,
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
So Francisco was wondering, if you are in a community group or on the community, can you tag or @mention an internal chatter group?
All right. Yeah. Currently, that's not something we support. This is something that actually does come up from time to time. So it's something we're interested in looking into and supporting eventually in the future, but don't have like a comment on when that's going to be the case. I can say though that one thing we were talking about direct messages. Again, sorry, it's close to my heart. But currently it's just in communities. But eventually the plan is to have it available also in the Lightning experience. And because of that feedback that we've received from customers, we've built that from day one to make it so that when you're inside the Lightning experience, that you get a unified inbox. So when we do eventually get to that, you'll be able to see messages from your communities as well as internal and various communities and all in one single place. So if you're living in the Lightning experience and handling cases, you won't have to go out into the community to respond eventually. So we're kind of taking that feedback and incorporating it as we build out new features.
Good planning.
Yeah.
Yeah, another really key thing that you pointed out is, you mentioned cases, but basically for any records, whether it's an account or opportunity for a sales use case or a lead for a partner use case, records work, they flow across the communities and the internal org. So you could access a record from within a community, even if it was created within the internal org.
I got one more question, and then I have some shout outs, and then I think we're probably going to wrap up, I'm guessing.
All right.
I'm seeing the eye from Mike there. So, final question about the community access from mobile. So, can you use Salesforce One to access communities, or is it only mobile browser?
If you build a Lightning community, your access will be on mobile browser using the Lightning template. You could use S1, but you cannot use both together, right? So typically, to give you an example, we have customers on partner community who might build a community on Visualforce and use S1 browser-based to access the community.
What about the app, the Salesforce One app?
You could use the S1 app too.
Okay. Right. I have a couple people posted some shout outs. I want to share those with you and everybody before we wrap up. Martha says, thanks to the communities team for a great, well-prepared demo. Some really exciting enhancements.
Cool.
Thank you, Martha.
Awesome. Thanks for being a customer.
And Reba says, thank you for removing the panel and providing icons. Sweet on moving between communities. and she also loves the new Community Workspace as well as the What's New highlight below. Awesome.
Sweet.
So,
Thank you, Reba.
Thank
great
you.
job,
Thank you.
guys. So that's all I have, and we do have lots of questions still coming in. You can still continue to post your questions. Please use the hashtag Salesforce Live, and our product managers will get to those questions within the next couple of days.
All right, well, let's keep the shout-out train rolling. Shout-outs to Elna, the entire product team, and the whole crew here at Salesforce Studio. Folks, that about wraps all we had for our Spring 17 presentations on Community Cloud. Also wrapped for everything that we had prepared for day one of Release Readiness Live for Spring 17. So we will be back tomorrow with sessions on our Sales Cloud and App Cloud. But before we go, I'd like to remind you that if you're looking for any of our content on Spring 17, you can find everything at salesforce.com/release readiness. One last thing before we call it a day. We'd like you to take the time to complete a survey that you can find at an external website, sfdc.co/spring17 survey. Again, that URL is sfdc.co/spring17 survey, all one word. If you can help us out by completing a survey there, we'll return the favor by entering your name into a drawing to win one of our Release Readiness Live hoodies. Once again, one last time, you can find that survey at sfdc.co/spring17 survey, one word. So, until tomorrow, this has been Mike Torres for Salesforce, wishing you the best in success.